evening, everyone, and welcome to the Metaphysical Hour. I'm Julia Cannon, and this is my co-host, Tracy Mahan. Yay! And our moderator, Tiffany. Woohoo!
She's
You will hear-
wooing in the background. She's just muted. I know she's doing.
You will hear her.
We will.
Yeah. All right. So I think we're working tonight. Yay.
Yes. All the avenues are in place and running. So if you guys would like to ask us questions, yeah, we're crossing everything. If you would like to ask us questions, the way to do that is to put the cap lock on your phone or your computer and write the name Tiffany in the comment and then ask your question. That way she knows you're asking a question. And I'll try today to not look at the comments and think everyone's yelling at Tiffany. But Tiffany is going to collect up these questions and then we'll bring her on to share them with us. So yeah.
Yay. So anything you want to ask, we'll do our best to give you our viewpoint.
Right.
And we'll always make it metaphysical. Okay? You will get our metaphysical.
We'll find a way.
We will find a way.
Yeah.
A duck crossed the road. What did that mean?
Oh. We could find a way.
Yes.
So how was your week, Julia? How was your week this last week?
My week, creative. I've been working on, you've been here, my gardens around my house.
Yeah.
With much help, like me not doing anything but supervising and just creating the design. Cleaned it all up, redone it, cleaned everything and reworked it. So all of them.
So now you're out on your deck basking in the sun and enjoying the garden.
Not yet, but yeah, I'm enjoying it's almost done. It's not quite there, but anyway, that's so cleaning out and renewing. It's because it was yeah. It's really good. And it feels so good to do that.
That kind of stuff does feel good. I keep thinking about it in my backyard. I want to revamp the backyard. And I don't know, do you remember the last year or so where I've said the HOA added this road in and they've been maintaining it and then all of a sudden they stopped?
Yeah, and it became yours.
Yeah, and it kind of became our headache, right? And so it was funny. I was hearing some noises outside the other day and I thought, it sounds like they're working on that strip. I think there's a compromise in here somewhere because about this much of the property from the fence to their property is mine to maintain. Well, they went through the whole fence line and where the mailbox and everything was, and they went up to the fence line from sidewalk to the fence and put bark dust in. Looks nice. Looks really good. But they didn't do the front half. So they only did the back half of that property, but they did mine as well as theirs. So I'm like, okay, well, that looks really nice. And now I don't have to maintain that little strip that would have been mine that runs the fence line. So in exchange, we can mow this front half that they didn't park this. And I was like, what an interesting thing. How could this be so confusing to them?
Well, yeah, you don't mind mowing it now because they did.
Because it's half and it's the easier half.
Yeah, good.
So, absolutely. Yeah. So I thought, well, that's interesting how that came out. Okay. But it is a solution and I'll take it. And it's less for us to do. So at this point I had given up on it, right? Like I thought this was just
let it go.
And Josh started mowing it and taking care of it for me. And Josh is my son, if you guys are new to the show.
Is he going to be disappointed that he doesn't have that to do now?
He didn't seem very disappointed. I showed it. I said, hey, look what they did. And he's like, but why didn't they do the front part? I said, well, I guess as a compromise, if we want the front part done, if you don't want to mow the front part, we can do the, lay down some bark dust in the front half if you want. I think he's just going to mow it. It'd just be easier than trying to dig up grass and kill that off or whatever you do. See, I'm not a gardener. So yeah, good stuff. But yeah, so that got done. And then I went camping.
Yes.
Jaden graduated, we had his party, and then we went camping.
Congratulations, Jaden.
it was kind of cool because this campground is literally like less than 20 minutes from the house. So, but it's far enough away that it's like we're away from home, and it's modern. Yeah, we can disconnect, and the universe was helping me do that, because every time I tried to, if I brought my laptop up to do something like just check Facebook or something, it would work for a minute and then it would die out, but I got to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
But if I tried to work, no, I get it. So I just quit trying.
I know she kept emailing me. It's like, okay, I'm going to try and do this and this and this and this here and everything, but my internet's kind of spotty. It's like, why are you trying to work? Period. That's your.
Why? Because I knew if I got home, I'd forget everything you sent me, and then you'd be like, you never did this. I know I'll forget if I don't, because I have to make notes for myself. Does anybody else make notes? Like, I literally message myself so that I don't forget, and I make a list for myself. The camping list was ridiculous. Don't forget this, don't forget that. But hey, I didn't forget.
Was it fun?
It was fun in the sense that it was relaxing, but this is my kind of relaxing. So you guys have to understand, I love animals. So what did we do? We brought them all. So Josh had his tent trailer, I had my trailer, and we were side by side with campsites. Really cute place, gives you nice big campsites. I love that. So I was able to set up a dining canopy with the walls on it, and I called it the garage, and we parked our electric bikes in there. And then, but we brought Buddy and Luna and Latte and Theo and Oliver, which are the 2 new kittens. Has anybody ever gone camping with kittens?
They're going to be camping.
Yeah. They loved it. Oh, I mean, we couldn't let them outside because we did get them harnesses so that we could like let them play around outside, but they were really loose on them because they're still so small. So I was like, so I got them. This is me. I got them a playpen. They make special cat playpens with a zipper top to them so that you can enclose them. And they played in that for a while. And then, so yeah, we had fun. And then we had a backpack for them so that they could go in the backpack when we were doing our things. So yeah, I may have a little animal obsession, but it was so much fun to have them. I'm like, they were in my trailer because the tent trailer might have a little gaps in the tent. So he was worried about him getting out. So I was like, oh darn, I'll keep him in mind. So I'm standing outside of my trailer. I'm hearing as they're running back and forth. I'm like, is somebody rearranging the furniture in there? It's amazing how noisy they were, but they loved it. And they would sit up on the little couch part and look out at nature. And so we had fun. So that was my kind of fun. It was pretty laid back. We went on a couple little bike rides, and they had frisbee golf there. So we went frisbee golfing, and otherwise we just hung out at our trailers and, relaxed. So a lot of downtime. It was good.
Good. Yay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Anyways, all right. Enough of that. Does Tiffins have questions for us? It looks like we got some.
Okay, good. Yay.
So
yes.
Okay. Bear with me. I'm playing juggle the animals on the lap. So
see, my kind of people.
I was gonna say Tiffany could probably be right there with you, doing a trip. Just she does the same thing with her animals.
We could totally camp together and bring our kitties and our puppies. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so we're gonna do this as choose your own adventure. You guys get to decide. We have a few questions on body stuff, and then we'll say other questions.
Other questions. Give us a clue of what the other questions are.
They're a grab bag. So
okay.
This is gonna be fun tonight. Okay, grab bag. Ready? What's our selection?
In the grab bag?
Sorry, I missed your question. I apologize.
Did you say grab bag?
You want grab bag?
We have grab bag or body questions? Grab bag or body questions?
now she's muted.
No, Tracy, I'm asking you. We have grab
you're
bag
asking me.
or body questions.
I feel like we're going to eventually do them both. So let's start with body questions.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. I thought you were asking Tiffany.
Oh, no.
No, I said you guys get to choose. What does it mean when you have, and I'm not going to pronounce this correctly, but adenomyosis, which is uterus pain and bleeding?
Endometriosis.
Okay, thank you.
Uterine pain. First of all, take that word out and just use that last part. When you said uterus pain, you always don't even go with the medical diagnoses. Don't even go with those long words. They're only for insurance purposes. That's it. You want to go with, in order to get your message, you want to go with what the symptoms are. So if it's uterine pain, I mean, I want you to describe it. See, I'm not just going to go, oh, this is what it is, blah, blah, blah. You're going to participate in here. This is an interactive thing because that's how these messages are. This is your message. This is your body talking to you. So I need to have some input from you as far as to get a better message, to give you a better clue as to what it is. It will still be up to you to get your specific message, but I can guide you in the right direction. So describe the symptoms. And if there's another one, we can go ahead and start on that one.
Yeah.
Was there
Okay,
another one?
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the chat and see if they.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it's not as simple as, oh, this is this, this is this. I mean, it's going to be really close. There's a general theme, but I want to give you the best information.
And I'm going to apologize. I believe it was this person, but they said it feels like a shark eating me from the inside out, debilitating cramps.
I love that. See how descriptive that is? And can you see how when someone describes what the symptoms are, how that can give you a lot of information? A shark eating me from the inside out.
Yeah. That draws a picture.
It does. It really does. Okay, so first of all, let's look at what that area is. The uterus. What does the uterus do? We can play this, Tracy. What does the uterus about? It's, what'd you say?
Reproductive, brings in life. I always call it the portal.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's your creation zone too. Yeah, I mean, this is where you're making, you are literally making life there. So it's your creative female zone. I mean, that's you. So if something is going on there, it means something is going on in that department, the creative department, that, maybe you're not feeling creative, or maybe there's a shark that's kind of, see, this is where that description comes in really handy. Maybe there's something that's happening that's maybe feeling like it's, like you're being overpowered or something within that area, and you're not able to be the creative person that you want to be, or you're not able to be reproductive or something. It can be literal reproduction, or it can be the symbolic creativity. So it's something in that world, and the fact that that shark eating me from the inside out, debilitating pain. That says a lot right there. So I'm just telling you, that's the area that it's in now. So that's giving you clues, and then it's you will know if there's something going on like that. I can ask you when it started. Does it happen every time? Like every cycle, or has it been going on for years? So that would be my next question: is when did it start?
And she is saying yes, she can take that. Like what you were saying makes sense.
Okay. And actually, you already know what it is, so that's okay. Good.
Yeah.
Now you just, by knowing it, that you've got that information already. Now you can just ask you can ask your uterus what you already got what it's trying to tell you. Now, what do I need to know, or what do I need to do? Then you can just ask it, and it will give you information as to what next.
Yeah, that's it's too bad we can't do this a little quicker with the questions. She said just in this last year, this has started to happen, but you know, it's nice to be able to carry on that conversation. So that
Yeah.
part's a bummer. But everything you've said, I'm sure, has given her clues
Yeah.
into, you know, what has happened in this last year.
Yeah,
that-
you look back at when it started, something happened at that time. You know, you might have a rough idea. You might not have exactly, but it'll be a rough idea so that you look in that general time frame. Something happened back there, and that's what this is in response to let you know, hey, this is what's happening.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay. All right, Tiffins.
Ding dong.
Okay. Sorry, bear with me. This is a little bit of a long one.
Okay.
I've been diagnosed with neurogenic inflammation and peripheral nerve damage from a reaction to an immunosuppressant medication. Ironically, I saw the immunologist to find out what food I'm allergic to, and now after this reaction, I'm also on a very strict diet and reacting to almost all food. I'm wondering what the metaphysics, might be behind this.
One, you really, okay, I know I was medical, I was a nurse and everything, but I mean, one of them is that medication. Medications have so many side effects. So you're already saying you're reacting to that medication. So I would really talk to my body and talk to my higher self and see, you know, what can be done there. I mean, talk to your doctor. I mean, if you don't want to take it, if your body's reacting like that to the medication, you know, see, this is where then they start putting on other medications and other medications to combat whatever that is happening on the first one. It's like, do you really need that first one? You need to fully ask yourself that. My opinion, we don't need any medications. That's my opinion. The body knows what to do and it can take care of itself. It's a matter of getting to the root of it and what's going on, what it's trying to tell you. So we need to go back and look at what was happening in the very beginning, why you even started on that medication, as to what, I know you said neurogenic inflammation, but you said that's caused by the medication, is what my understanding, right? So what happened that even had to be, you had to take the medication in the first place. So, and then we go back from there, you know, we have to keep going back to what started this whole thing, because that's where your message is. Once you put medications in the mix, now you're dealing with them. And so you got to get all that out of the story just so we can see what you're trying to be told. Once you understand that, your body will heal and you won't need anything. Any of it. It's just, you've got to find out, you know, it could be the food intolerances because of the medication. See, so many things are coming from because of that medication, probably. I don't know that. That's where more questions. This is where Tracy's saying it'd be really cool if we could have a back and forth.
A little more instant and back and forth would be great.
But whatever we can do here is great. You know, I'm happy to help.
Yeah, all of it. I mean, all of us can take what you're saying and apply this, and you know, in some area of our lives where we're doing this. You know, Julia's got the Soul Speak book, Language of the Body. It's talking to us. And so, you know, just listening and understanding these things is so powerful. And I'm going to do a little plug. She has a course online that you can take on it too. But and if you are a practitioner, QHHC, quantum healing hypnosis practitioner, Dolores Cannon's method, I highly recommend you take the Soul Speak course, because it helps you with your clients and understanding what's going on with them.
Right. It really helps you to know what questions to ask in the right places.
Yeah, in the right places, just like what you were doing. Well, when did that happen? How, you know, what was going on at that time? And then having them describe that, like you did with the shark, you know, or it was a medical term, but describe it for me. Well, it's like that shark coming from the inside out. Yeah.
Right.
So.
And see, on this one, the neurological inflammation, blah, 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 blah. See, we can break that down, but it's just, to me, that's coming from, because it sounded like that's from that medication, but that right there, see, the nervous system inflammation is anger. Things are irritated, very irritated. See, so that's what, but I would want to know, what are the symptoms? So that's what I always want to get back to. What are the symptoms? That's where your message is.
Yeah.
Then those symptoms.
All right. Tiffany. Ding dong. It's like a
Sorry, it's busy in the chat and lots
It
of
is busy.
trolls, so I'm trying to
Oh,
to
okay.
navigate a bunch of things. This is hopefully an easy one. Someone's asking, whatever happened to Mom's Metaphysical Hour episodes? I haven't seen anything new in about a month's time. Thanks. Do you happen to know?
That's done by the publishing company. They do that, and they put those up. So I don't know. I mean, I know that I have access to them, but I know that they're airing them so that, so it all gets done. I think we might air them sometimes if we're gone. Then we do some of those old shows. So no, I don't know. Maybe it's the publishing company, Ozark Mountain Publishing, that takes care of those. So you might reach out to them and see what's going on. Because my understanding was they have a new show every week. It's from the old archives, but it's a new show every week.
Yeah, they keep putting it out.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next.
Okay. This individual said, I'm feeling that time is really speeding up at a very fast pace with intuition at a all-time level of elevation. Are you guys also feeling that?
Agreed. So I'm like, Mom. Yes. And I remember
rapid ascension.
Absolutely. And I remember, gosh, this was when Mom was still alive and we were doing this show, and something had come up on CNN or something, not right before that, where they had scientific, they were like, scientists were showing, I mean, the rotation of the planet had sped up. It was like a few seconds or something, but they were showing, it was like this, they'd said it, and it was like, oh my gosh, it really is. It was like there was scientific proof that things were speeding up, and this was years ago. So that this has continued, and it's probably gotten faster. So that's the physical part.
Yeah.
That's literal speeding up. And then we have everything else that we're doing that's alongside of it, that isn't so physical, but it's everything we feel and we know. You guys, I mean, this is like, what's the word? I've got this visual in my head and I'm trying to come up with a word, but it's like, our growth and evolution, it's on steroids. Yeah. It's a self-perpetuating, it's like something that keeps going. It's faster and faster and faster as it keeps going. So as we keep moving, and it started off just really slow footsteps or thing, and then we started up a little jog, and then we started running, and now I guess we're on race horses or something. I don't know. Maybe race cars.
Well, and what I love is I don't do astrology, but I love to listen to it. And especially when stuff is going on, it's like, what's happening? So I'll go find one of my little go-tos on YouTube and listen to it. And the astrology is so supportive right now. I think the more we're purging our old, stuff, and it's like the last one, if I remember right, it was really digging up the old stuff that, that we hold on to and are stuck in.
Yeah.
And as we keep clearing that out, then I mean, it's like taking your foot off the brake, the more you clear out, the more you're taking that foot off the brake, and the faster you start going. And now you're going downhill with the foot off the brake. So, yeah. So it's,
when you were saying take the foot off the brake, what was funny was what I was seeing was we have our foot on the gas and we have the foot on the brake.
Yeah.
And so we're wondering why this is what we're doing. And now it's like if you're saying we're taking that foot off the brake or easing it up, that gas is still going, and so that's why it's going faster. Yeah.
So it's pretty cool, and to hear that as I'm going through it, and I'm hearing it also, everything that showing up here is for me to filter through, right? Because we're not. I mean, Julia and I will tell you that all the time. Just because we do this work doesn't mean we're void of the life experiences.
Not at all. And that's why we want to share things that happen, because we're learning from them, and it's just showing you how we go about it and how to go about learning from your everyday experiences. Yeah, that's what they are. They're experiences to learn from.
Yeah. So, as it's showing up and I'm shoveling through some of that stuff, and then I go to listen to the astrology, I'm like, yep, did that. Yep. In that one. Okay. And it just really supports. But what I love is that it's supporting the ascension process, like everything we talk about with ascension and the things we need to do to raise or clear the vibration so that we can have this fifth dimensional reality.
Right.
It supports that it's taking us through those purges. We're purging out these old paradigms, these old ways of thinking, these old injuries and hurts and pains, and we're getting new perspectives, and we're getting a broader look at things, and it's just opening up our world, and then things aren't as hurtful or painful when we can do that. So yeah, take that foot off the brake. So here we go. Buckle up.
Yeah, exactly. We had the foot on the gas. I want to go, but we had it on that brake on all the time too. And it's like, I want to go. Why aren't I going? The foot's on the brake. I want to go. I'm pushing the gas. Why isn't it going? The foot's on the brake. So,
exactly. So we're clearing house. Awesome.
I love what you're saying there, because it's referring back to what we were talking about in the very beginning. And this is what I was saying, was our experiences, we'll make something metaphysical out of it. Cleaning up these old garden beds, you clean that side yard being cleaned up and renovated and everything. See, that's part of that same vibration. This is why. So kind of look at what's appealing to you. That's what it's trying to show you. This is where you're at. You're in this place of clearing out, renewing, whatever.
Oh, so Mike's saying, meet me halfway.
Maybe. Or it may not look like, the compromise may not look like what you think it will be.
Right. And that's the message I got, is, okay, well, they came and did this, but it didn't look like I thought it would. But it's still very satisfying and acceptable. So, yeah, cool. All right, Tiffany.
Okay, this person says, the trees have been talking to me. They said they have been talking to me. How do I encourage this new communication and stop my Mr. Stupid from telling me I'm crazy?
Hey, Mr. Stupid, hello.
One is keep acknowledging it. Just allow it. It's so subtle, but just allow it and acknowledge, and then thank them. See, all the times you do that, then that's telling Mr. Stupid, which is the conscious mind. I mean, that's mom's loving term for the conscious mind, is Mr. Stupid, because it thinks it knows everything, but it doesn't really know anything, but it's in control. It has a wonderful job. It's the part where it thinks it knows everything. That's where it kind of gets a little messed up. And so it tries to, wait, what are you doing? That's stupid. This is crazy stuff. You're crazy talk. What do you mean talking to a tree? Trees don't talk, that kind of, that's Jabberwocky. So, but with you thanking the tree and you acknowledging this, and the conscious mind's going to go, it might at first go, well, you're being crazy. But as you keep doing it, so you're allowing it, you're acknowledging it, it will keep happening. And the conscious mind's going to go, well, that's kind of cool. I mean, that's what mine did. Afterwards, like, that's cool. And it's right there, right along with it. It's fine, completely fine with me talking to all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, have fun with it. It doesn't matter if it's real or not. I mean,
exactly.
If it's,
you don't need to prove it. You don't need to
doing it. Yeah,
it happens. And I mean, I know in my heart that I heard the trees talk. They talked to me, and that's all that matters.
What's really fun when you ask that tree to show you what it feels like to be a tree, they'll do it. Yeah, to experience that.
The first time, I think that was the first time I talked to a tree. I mean, this was a gorgeous tree in England. And it was one of these, who knows how many hundreds, it was that's how it felt. It was hundreds of years old, and it had those limbs that would reach out, and how they do that, just begging to be sat on or next to or loved on, everything. And there was a bench right there. I mean, it was a perfect setting. And so I sat there and I just started talking to it mentally. And I just said, wow, I can only wonder what you have seen all these years. What has happened around you and what's gone on. And I could feel this sense of it. It took a minute for it to respond. It was like it was surprised that someone was talking to it.
Yeah.
And expecting an answer. And so it took a little bit, and then it started telling me, it's kind of like what you're saying, it was telling me its perspective of what was going on. And it was showing me most people don't even acknowledge it. They just walk by, they don't do anything. And that's why it was so wonderful. I loved it that somebody acknowledged.
Yeah.
And noticed him and was talking to him. So otherwise he's just there being a tree. He's just being himself.
So true. Yeah, I used to know a guy that would communicate with trees. Like he was calling, going, "Am I going crazy, or is this really happening?" So you're not the only one that thinks that.
Yeah.
Is that real?
Mhm.
And so I would have fun. Like I went on a trip and I took a picture of this tree that, like you were saying, must have seen things, and I sent it to him. I said,
Yeah.
he could do it. He could just look at the picture and it would tell him things. And so he would send me back thoughts on what the tree was saying, and I'd ask, so what did this tree see? This is where it sits. This is the environment around it. What is it seeing? And he would give the neatest little messages. So have fun with it. I mean, why not? It doesn't, we get too serious about things sometimes, like it has to look like something or be something, or just have fun with it, enjoy the gift, and play in the trees.
Yeah, see what they have to say. See what the rocks have to say. See what the animals have to say. They have stuff to say. They'll be surprised that you're talking to them. I'll tell you that.
The animals are going to say, "Take me camping, take me camping." It sounds like this. Meow, meow. Like, we had them in their little carrier out on the picnic table, and people were walking by, and they're like you don't expect to hear kittens when you're camping. And so we might have gotten a few friendly neighbors coming over to see the kittens. Take your kittens camping. They love it.
It'll be a new trend.
Yeah. Yeah, let's start showing pictures of your cats camping.
There we go.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Tiffany.
Okay. Could intracranial hypertension be side effects of my Ascension?
Intracranial. Okay, what that means is inside the head, high blood pressure inside the head, or increased blood pressure inside the head. That's what that means. Okay. But let's get back to what are the symptoms? So, because don't worry about that one, that name. That name medically means this, but I don't know if that's what you're actually having. Are you having headaches? Or are you just saying headaches? Because that actually is what a headache is. It's increased pressure in the head, causing the brain just do a little swelling. It's in a closed area. It can't move. So when it pushes out on that skull, it hurts. That's a headache. Okay.
Kind of explains the throbbingness of it too, because it's the blood.
Yeah, the blood vessels are there. Now, I'll just answer this in general. Yes, that can be definitely one of the symptoms, because when we are activating the crown, the solar, not solar plexus, the third eye chakra and the crown chakra, sometimes you'll have a tingling up here with that one. But sometimes when that third eye chakra is activating and it's expanding, it can make a headache. Yeah, because it's opening up is what it's doing. And it's not necessarily creating pressure in there. I think it's just that opening. Just like when the heart that chakra is opening, sometimes you feel pressure in the chest, you feel maybe a quickening. Sometimes it hurts. Yeah, these chakras, sometimes when they're moving, they hurt a little bit until you get used to them. So that's just a telling. So it could very well be, but how, the way you find out best is to ask it yourself. What are you trying to tell me? What do you want me to know? And if that's what comes back, then that's your answer.
Yeah. Yeah, because there could be a lot of answers to that.
It could be, yeah, absolutely. But it definitely could be one of the symptoms, one of the signs of Ascension.
Absolutely. Okay. I have nothing else to say on that. You
covered it.
Covered it. Tiffany, what else?
So we've had several different questions on these, so I'm going to try to lump them together. But asthma, allergies, anything of that effect. Do you have any type of metaphysical or soul speak or QHHT that you could relate to both of those?
There's so much stuff. Yeah, that all has to do with the lungs and breathing, and all of that is the breath of life. Anything to do with your breathing, the lungs, that's the breath of life. And what I have found is like when anything is affected in that area, when you're having issues, it means there's something there's like a fear. There's a fear going on. That's what I found with the lungs. It's a fear. It can be a grieving. It's something happening with how you feel about life, with what's going on. So, but if you've got a fear of living, it will be expressed in the lungs. The asthma has come many times. That sometimes that's from many times it's from another life. It can be from another life. The way you passed another life could have been, and that could be the allergies too, where you carried that through. Sometimes asthma can be from overbearing parents when you're young, very young. And so see how that can create a fear of living. If you have a very protective parent and that's afraid to let you go anywhere and do anything, it can make you afraid to live. I'm sorry to be that blunt, but it can do that. And that can
blunt. Wow, lady.
I know. I'm just going to say it like it is. But that's where,
Yeah.
it's where these things can come from. The best way for you to know is to ask yourself. And that's why I'm just saying this is generally what we see. It isn't necessarily your answer, but the best way to find out is to ask the situation. These are all energetic systems. They have physical components, but they're energetic. So you can crawl into them. That's how I got their messages. I energetically crawled into them and said, what are you trying to say? What's going on here?
Yeah, I've had the lungs, and maybe you said this and I missed it. Come back as grieving, which is again part of life, like you were saying, fear, but also grieving, like it's hard to breathe because maybe you lost somebody or something like that, and it's that life won't ever be the same. It's still that breath of life.
Because you could be having fear. How am I going to move forward without this person? How am I going to live without this person? How am I going to? So there is a fear coming. So I think that fear still kind of ties in there. Because I always got it as fear, and then someone else was saying grieving as well, and I'm like, okay, how does grieving work with that? Well, that makes sense. We probably go into a fear mechanism of
what
how
does the future look like now?
Exactly.
And then that can create some breathing and
and so then you'd always, you also look at back, like, when did it start? Everything you look at is, when did it start? What was going on in your life at that time? And that will give you a lot of clues as to what you're afraid of or what's going on. Something happens. These things don't come out of the blue. They're trying to tell you something. So you have to go find what happened and what this is in response to.
Amen. Okay.
Another question. Yeah.
Soul searching. All right.
Yeah, but you absolutely can heal. It will heal. As soon as you understand what it's trying to tell you and you take action on whatever it is it wants you to do, it will go away. So it's worth looking into yourself and figuring this out.
Yeah. Okay, Tiffany, it's safe now.
I thought this one was fun, and I think it kind of relates to some QHHT work that I think Julia, you've told me about. I was wondering the significance of a stork bite birthmark. It's a temporary red mark on the back of the neck when born.
Oh, interesting.
So it's a temporary one. I've talked to you about
That's what they say. You've talked to me about birthmarks.
Birthmarks, yeah. I was like, I don't remember doing a stork.
But this one,
okay.
Yeah, this one it's a temporary one on the back of the neck.
Well, birthmarks in general, what we have found for the majority is they tend to be an indicator. Again, it's like a residue. It's a sign, a physical sign of a way that you passed in another life. So like because my throat was slashed in one life, and I had a birthmark here on my throat. I was stabbed in the back apparently multiple times, because I've seen several, and my birthmark is still there. I've got a big birthmark, and I feel like it's probably, like, when it's that big, it could be that could be a cannon. Who knows? Oh, a cannon. Ooh.
Oh, there you go. Give yourself a clue much.
It's like, it's like when it's that big. Otherwise, I kept thinking, well, that'd be maybe where it bled out or something, like, where the bleeding.
When a bullet goes in, it comes out like that. So if it went through,
so maybe from the front. Oh.
Yeah, it would make a small hole in the front, but it would blow out the back.
Oh, okay.
Because
so
breaks
yeah,
out.
so see, it'll be something, and it can be an indicator of that. Now, sometimes some birthmarks are indicators of where you're from. Like there's purple ones, reddish purple ones that sometimes cover the face or partially of the face. And those tend to be on people that they're from this planet where that is their color. And so it's like a reminder of this is where you're from. This is who you really are. And it's just, you were holding on to that when you came through. So
Wow.
see, they're messages. Now the ones on the back, see, I would look, to me, that's probably something happened to the head, to the neck head. The fact that it's temporary, because these will go away. See, that one's not there anymore. That one's gone. When I understood what it was, and I was touching it at the time that I was experiencing the death, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what the birthmark is from. Then it went away. It took about a month, and then it was gone. I just noticed it wasn't there anymore. See, I made the association. So it could, the bun on the back of the neck, I'm trying to think if they're known to be temporary. I'm not sure. That's a great question to ask in a session. Tracy, if you get the opportunity, would you ask that in a session?
Yeah, about the stork bite ones. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
It would have been interesting to have that earlier, because I got to go into a session today and be the one being regressed, and these are the kind of questions I love, because I have no clue. So
there we go. Okay, you're still in that period. You're still there. You can actually tap back in and ask that question. So
the stork bite.
The stork bite, what is an indicator of? What can it be? And the fact that it's temporary.
It's kind of like this, they're showing me like a cord, like you would have a belly button, but it's like this cord that's feeding information, and they're feeding it in till the last minute, and then they pull it back as they're being born, is how they're showing it to me. So for me, it feels like this is a port, a station, or like when you plug your USBs into your computer, it feels like it's kind of like something like that, and they had it plugged in up until the last minute, and then here you come. So that's what I'm seeing. So hey, somebody else might get a different answer, and they're all right.
I think that's a great answer. It's better than anything else we got right now.
That body's still getting downloaded.
Right up to the last.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool.
To elaborate, someone said, or they mentioned that all the siblings have it. I don't know if that makes a difference. That's why they were just wondering.
Well, they probably all come from the same place.
Maybe they're little hybrid children being brought in.
Yeah,
really could be cool. I think we need to ask the person, like the ones that had these.
Yes.
They would be the ones to regret.
Yeah, because it'd be specific to them. I mean, you could be getting a general, but we know specifically. If you have the opportunity to have a session, a QHHT session, that would be an excellent question to ask.
What if they were in little hybrid incubators up until that point, and that's the incubator mark? Who knows?
Yeah.
Don't ask me questions like that. I'm always going to take it into the next world.
Well, I mean, and I've seen myself in an incubator type thing, and I do plug in when I go into that, when I've seen myself in there, and it's like, then it takes information from me and sends it on up. It's like up the line, so it's like I'm downloading into something else. And then that part, and then it went, I know that when I had that, it was like it did that. And then it shifted to something where it kept calling it my core. And then my core was now having all these experiences, and it kept feeding all these different, it was like tentacles that fed out from there. And then it was sending information from them all. But I was plugged in. I feel like it was somewhere up here. I thought it was like maybe on the head, but what if it was there?
All right. You guys all get to.
It could be so many things, guys. We just barely know this much of who we really are and what we really experience and what's going on. So, anything is possible.
If we can think it, it's probably somewhere.
Exactly.
All right, Tiffany. What else?
So there was a request previously when we had talked about asthma. I did bring up allergies also. So there was a request if you could elaborate on allergies.
Well, what kind of allergies? Let's just we'll expand on that. I mean, usually like they're coming from another life, usually. A big majority of them are. So it might be, I know like hay fever and stuff like that. Somebody might, some cases we've had, they died in a hayfield, or they were around cats, you know, maybe it was lions, not little cats that did it, maybe it was big cats that killed them. You also see they have an allergy to cats now or something. So see how it can be related to the way that they passed in another life. They just carried that over, kind of as anytime we carry something over, we call it residue, but anytime we do that, it's like, it's to help protect us, because there's no time. The soul doesn't know time. It just, the body is different, and it doesn't recognize that, oh, this is a different life. It's like, it has cell memory, it has all these things going on. So it's just carrying it over. It's like, I'm going to protect you this time. This isn't going to happen. We're going to keep you away from these cats. We're going to keep you away from these fields. We're going to keep you away, whatever it was that caused the death before. So it's a protection mechanism. So that's where in a session, we get the kind of, well, where it's from, then we can let it stay with the other life. It doesn't need to be with this life.
I've had sessions where people come from the water world, and in this life they have a fear of water. So why do you have a fear of water?
Yeah.
But I don't go into the water, and that cellular memory tells me I can breathe in here.
Yeah.
And then they would drown. So, there's that. I do see someone putting in here food allergies. So
yeah, so there again, the food, and that some of that can be what I'm getting, some of that can be, we have a lot of people that are not originally from this planet, and it can be some of that, that you're just bringing through, your own, like you were just saying just now, that wasn't something. Gosh, I just went blanked out. What did you just say? The story you just said. I just don't realize.
About water world.
Yeah, the water world.
You blanked out. Julia loves water world.
I love Waterworld. That's my place to go to. I love it, love it, love it. Oh, you should see. I just whenever when it shows up, oh my gosh, it's like my whole body is full of love. It's just, I love it. But
I don't think I've ever taken anybody, like anyone that's ever gone to a water world that has had a bad experience. So they usually love it. It's peaceful.
Oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. It's just fun. It's
water world. Go
water
there.
world. Yeah, but food allergies, we'd have to look at, when did it start, what was going on in your life, what is it? So it's like, let's get to the underlying part. There's something more to it. It's not the food. It's an indicator of something. It could be from another life. It could be something that is just trying to get your attention about something else that was going on in your life. That's why it's hard to just give a pat answer to some of these things. There's so much more to it.
I will say, I believe earlier in the chat, she did mention that it started happening when she felt like she had to protect herself.
There we go. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's a really, really good introspective insight that you got there.
Yeah. And think about that, if it is a protection, even if it's not the thing that she felt she would need to protect herself from, cellular memory. I feel like I need to protect myself, and this protective mechanism drops in, and the allergy begins, yeah, makes sense.
It might have been whatever you were eating at that point that you felt like you need to protect, and so the body's going, okay, protect on that. See, it's like we're not, it makes some general things. It's like it's not necessarily associating. It's just associating with that, or it's using that as a symbol. This is with this feeling. I'm going to attach it to this, so you will remember it. But you didn't get the memo that that's what was happening, and so that's where it's like, wait a minute, I'm allergic to all these things. What's the deal?
Right. I like it. Good answer. So, all right, let's see. Oh, we got a little bit of time. We still got time. Cool.
I know. We're doing good. Getting lots of questions. I'm so glad you guys are asking great questions.
Yeah.
So this individual says, my dreams are so intense, I can remember every detail. I can do what I want to in them. I also feel when I wake that I have been taking on long journeys, like I'm training for something, question mark.
Yeah. I mean, if that's the feeling you have, I would say yes, because where we go in our dreams, that's the real world. This is the pretend.
I want to say lucid I was going to say, that's cool that you could do the lucid dreaming. And I kept wanting to, I had to keep stopping myself from saying remote viewing. Isn't that weird?
Yes.
Ooh, so are you remote viewing in this training? Yeah, whatever you're doing. If you haven't looked up remote viewing, that might be a thing. So
absolutely. But definitely if you feel like you're training, then that's probably it, and then just ask more questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to ask questions in your dreams, in anything that's happening. If something is going on and you're wondering, like you're asking us right now, ask your higher self, ask your body, just ask, you will get answers.
Yeah. One of my favorite things when I'm working with somebody and they're saying, well, I'm getting this, but I don't know what it means. Ask.
Exactly. It's okay to ask. Yeah. What does that mean? And then what does that mean? If you're still not clear, you can keep asking questions until you're crystal clear. You're not going to offend anybody.
Absolutely not. And it's kind of funny that we don't think to do that. It's like, okay, where am I supposed to go in my future? Oh, I'm seeing a road and then I'm seeing water, but I don't know what it means.
Yeah.
And then, well, what does road and water mean? Oh, I mean, it's close enough that I can drive to it. And, and then you start getting answers. And then, okay,
or
so
can you tell me more on this? I don't quite understand. You can say, I don't understand.
Don't understand.
Okay.
Tell me more. Yeah. Get really good at asking questions. Be the why person. Why? What does that mean? Why? Tell me more. Why?
Yes. Very cool.
We want you all to get your answers. And we like answering them questions for you, but it's also fun when you get your own answers.
Well, it is, because it's very empowering. And that's what, we've heard this over and over and over again, that, our higher selves is saying it's time, you bring your power back to you. And this is part of that. When you go within to ask your questions, you figure, and that's what we're just trying to teach you how to do that. And that's what a QHHT session does. These are teaching you how to recognize it, how to go inside, get your answers so that you do that for yourself. You don't have to keep going everywhere else, giving all your power away to everyone else. It's anybody else is going to be making educated or non-educated guesses for you and speculations. Only you can get your true answers for you. And it's a matter of you trusting. So that's where you just got to start doing it subtly, and you'll build a trust. They'll have this whole mechanism for you, a whole game that you can play with them so that you can start learning to trust. Just know that's what's happening. I'm learning to trust.
Yes. Trusty trust. Isn't that a fun one?
Absolutely. Probably one more question and then we'll.
Okay.
Maybe you have time for one more.
Okay. Well, I think this one will be quick just so people on the back can hear. I think you just answered it, but how do we know it's our soul actually answering?
Oh,
actually, it's not a quick question, a quick answer. Okay. He says we still have 6 minutes. Okay. So we can answer that one. Actually, in the beginning, and this is the normal, and Tracy jumping, we all develop, and I feel like we kind of, everybody I talk to, they kind of seem to go through this process. But in my situation, I was hearing things, I was getting information in whatever way it was coming in. And then I started doing that. And I was like, well, how do I know this is them? How do I know what this is? This could be me and my wishful thinking, because these are kind of good answers that I'm hearing, and how do I know? And so then, and I'm asking, how do I know? And so I'm getting an answer. Well, how about we kind of make a diagram out of you, and when it's us, meaning the higher self, guides, whatever, we'll come in over here. So this was in my case. They said, okay, well, you'll hear us over here.
Right side.
Yeah. When it's you and your thoughts, your ego, your conscious mind, well, maybe let's pick a place. Maybe it's over here, or, somewhere. It was somewhere odd. It was an odd place. And there was a third one. I don't remember what the third one was, but it was like these 3 different things. I was like, okay. So it segmented it out. And so then when I would get things, I would just, okay, that must be you because it's over here. It's you guys. And only very few was it in one of the other areas, but it was mostly that. But it was helping me to, okay, it was helping me to allow it, first of all. And then as the information was coming through, then I would get confirmation. like within 24 hours, I would get 3 confirmations. Somebody would come up to me and say something that was the very same thing I heard, or I'd read it in a book, I'd see it on TV, somehow I would get confirmation for what I got. That was helping me to develop the trust. See, it's like first allow, and then you start trusting. And the more you start doing that, then you allow more, you trust more, you allow more because you're getting a confirmation. That's what's building the trust. As you do that, see, you're opening your pathway in, and you're building that trust, so then it gets to where nobody's going to tell you otherwise. You know what it is. I mean, you have a knowing, hey, this is my connection, period. And so
I had a total image in my head when you were doing that of somebody taking a scared little puppy and giving it a treat. And then it's like, okay. And then next time it comes a little closer, you get another treat until we really trust that treat giver. Right. But, we're always in communication with these parts of ourselves. Right. And so when we, like, for myself, if I feel like, oh, I'm just influencing that because that's what I want. Well, we have to pay attention to that too, because we're manifesting and creating. So the best way that it was told to me is, okay, you're sitting there trying to decide, am I the one that's doing this, or am I the one, is it this or is it this? And you got these things you're trying to weigh out. Do I go? Do I not go? Whatever it is, take a coin, flip it in the air, and, call heads or tails for which side, flip it in the air. And then the one you want it to land on, that's your answer, because your soul wants you to be happy. And so it wants you to take the choice, make the choices that are going to help you be happy. But we get in our way with all the convoluted stuff that we do to it. Right. It's like, well, is everybody going to approve of my decision? How many of us are looking for approval all the time? Am I going to get feedback from that? And,
approval, proof, blah, 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 everything.
Yeah. So, if it makes you happy, you like that answer, follow it. For me, the soul pops in at random times, like really random things, like sell your car. Oh, okay, go do that now. Just really quick and random thoughts will come in, and then I know I need to listen to that. But I know we need to also go.
We gotta go.
Come on, ladies, speed it up.
Yeah. So Tracy, how can people find you? We'll start there.
You can find me at tracymahan.com or at qhhtofficial.com under Find a Practitioner, Tracy Mahan. Julia.
Sounds like a helping rescue. Yes, you do. Yeah.
We get these little notes from our producer, and he's like, sorry.
Anyway, qhhtofficial.com to learn the method my mother created and developed, QHHT, quantum healing hypnosis technique. Also, we have a reunion retreat coming up in Ibiza, Spain in October 4th to 9th. Come and be with us. We can all hug each other. And also Soul Speak, the language of your body. We have the book at ozarkmt.com and the course at juliacannon.com. Tracy, if somebody wants to be a practitioner and they would like to take the course, do you have a code for them?
I have a code. You can save 10% off if you use The Magic is Real. Put it in as one word. The Magic is Real. That'll get you 10% off your course. Yay. Do it.
Yeah. Do it. Anyway, if any of this resonates with you, if you want to help people to find out who they really are, that's what QHHT is all about, to help them make these connections, to understand who they really are and how much bigger they are than they think they are. And we're great big beings, great big powerful beings. We just forgot.
We forgot. But we're remembering. So
we remember.
Great remembering. Okay. Before he shuts us off. Love you. Bye.